The term ghost, it's a generic term, and phantom, spectre, we use these terms very liberally, but although you may call it a ghost, it's actually an earthbound spirit. And an earthbound spirit simply means somebody who's popped their clogs, they've died, and for reasons which could be many and varied, they have not moved on. They've not moved on from the physical world. So although the physical body has been buried in the ground, they are still percolating and carrying on as normal. They still have their wardrobe, they still clean their teeth, they still do everything that a normal human being would carry out. It's a critical performance, and they would be doing this every day. And the amount of people that die in hospitals and they don't know they're dead, and then they return to their address where they formerly lived, and they stay there, and the funeral takes place, and then somebody else moves into this home, and then they become interrupted by the new people that have moved in, and then they start to play up. And when they play up, there are so many stories of, you can get the lights turning off and on, you can get the radiators vibrating and shaking, you can get things move across the kitchen, you can get noise, crash bang, what. There are things, pictures get thrown off walls. These types of disturbance is when you have an earthbound spirit who is very uncomfortable, or made very uncomfortable by those people that have moved in to occupy their place of living, their dwelling. Should you be scared of a ghost? I mean, that's a very interesting question, because I don't think I've ever been scared of a ghost. I've seen them as a challenge. I've seen them as something that I need to understand. They don't need to understand me. It's up to them if they do. But I want to understand them. And if anyone should be scared of them, not necessarily. But then there are threatening ghosts, there are troubled ghosts, and there are those that will kick up a fuss. And quite often the ghosts that are more threatening can be the ancestral ghost. The member of the family that dies, and they have a particular problem or issue with a person who is still alive, and they want to get them back. It could be, for example, that they had submitted a will, and the will has been challenged and turned around. It's been turned over, and the deceased person is so angry about this, they want to put it right, and they want to get their own way, because what is the point of writing a will if somebody is allowed to change it? That is their point of view, and they can cause a lot of trouble. And they can pick on the person who is responsible for changing the will and contest them in a way that they are projecting their thoughts, they're projecting their anger, and because a human being is electromagnetic, if somebody is projecting from the other world anger and bad feelings, you will pick it up, and you wonder where these thoughts are coming in your head. Oh, I'm thinking about old John today, old John who died and I changed his will. I wonder what he's doing in my head. I haven't thought about him for weeks. And then it continues, John is still coming in, and then the thoughts, and then you become anxious, then you start to feel guilty. This is when an earthbound spirit is getting the upper hand once they get inside a person's head or their emotions and start to manipulate their feelings. But they feel justified in doing so because the person on earth has broken the rules. They changed the will. And I'm using the will because this is a common issue. You could be talking about a person who dies, is murdered. And this person who is murdered, there may be an investigation, there may even be an arrest, there may even be somebody found guilty, but that person might not be the criminal. They may not have committed the murder at all. But the person who has been killed, they know who did it. And they can haunt that person, they can track them down, and they again can project at that person to make them feel insecure.